Check, check. It said I'm live. That was wild. Not a surprise that my live got shut down. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. They just give themselves away. It's like if they wouldn't do that, then you'd think, oh, I must just be talking crazy talk, right? But then when it's so obvious that they're trying to silence you, it's like, okay, so you're onto something, right? Thanks for letting me know. So let me see if I can delete one of the lives that I have scheduled because, yeah, this one, I'll try to cancel this one, delete. Okay. And then let's see if, oh, there's Anna Bees, you're here. And Tobias, what's up? Thank you for letting me know right away, Anna Bees. And thank goodness I was keeping up with the chat so that I knew right away when you make yoga again. So, Tobias, I'm just going to have to call you out because you're like a troll here. I'm just going to block you. Remove, put user in timeout. I'm going to give you a 5-minute timeout. You can think about what in the world you're doing here because you came on right after the last time I lost my stream, right, Anna? Right after the last time I lost my stream, Tobias came on and asked me to show them some freaking foot yoga. OMG. And what a weird name. So this is a Russian bot for sure. It's probably, seriously, Anna, it's probably this guy or somebody like him, that John, who was a deputy for Palm Beach County in Florida, John Mark Dugan, the one who fled to USSR land 9 years ago after being a deputy for 5 years for Palm Beach County. John Mark Dugan. Is that you, Tobias? Whatever the F your name is. So, no, please. Yeah, you're freaking gone. Give me a break. Hide user on this channel. There. This user's messages will be hidden. So, I don't know if that kicks them out, though, Annabees, but they're gone. How ridiculous. So, yeah, when that happened before, you and I both thought that that was a troll. And it was a troll. And I was like way too polite with, but isn't that interesting? So, they shut down your feed and then they have a troll come on and try, because the thing with trolls, this is what I realized early on when I started doing my content, is that they don't care how it is that they get you off track. Their goal is just to get you off track. So if they can get you to talk about yoga or puppies or anything other than what you're talking about, that's the goal. And I am grateful when they give me the information, basically, that what I'm saying is worthy of their time and effort from probably from the other side of the world. I'm going to bet you anything that this Tobias sock puppet is in what was formerly the USSR. I'm going to bet you anything. Don't you think, Miss Bees? OMG. So yeah, I can't stay on long, but I did want to come back on. So I had mentioned yesterday that I was trying to do some deep diving on the survivors of victimization from Little E and Ghislaine Maxwell. And Annie Farmer and her little sister, actually Maria Farmer, the little sister is Annie Farmer, are two sisters that were both abused by these MFs that tried to get help right away. They talked to law enforcement, they even talked to the FBI. They got no help. And then, like 10 years later, the FBI contacted them and said, "Oh, now we want to hear your story because it's useful for us." So they did go through the court system and get some justice, but it's really sad. I wanted to give an update about Maria Farmer. She survived brain cancer and lymphoma, and now she's battling brain cancer again, I believe, which is really, really frightening, no matter what the etiology of it is. But I'm sure that there's ways that people can get to you and poison you over time where they can give you a brain tumor. I mean, as a nurse, Anna Bees, is that something that you know about? Um, I would think. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, so she was very successful at a young age with her art before she had little E ruin her life. And then after the devastation of what her and her sister went through, she went over 20 years not creating art. And she only started creating art again when she finally got some justice and had some closure. So that's the older sister. And then the littler, younger sister, Annie, who was like, I want to say 15 when she was first assaulted by those hideous monsters. And Maria, I think, was about 25, but still, it doesn't matter if you're of age, you're still victimized. It's just worse when it's children. But oh man, it's so disgusting. So Maria was employed by little E for a long time, so he really tried to manipulate her with being her boss, and she would try to quit. He would beg her to stay. But the little sister Annie, she's a psychologist, I think. Some type of, she works in the field of mental health. I think she's a psychologist, like a doctorate level, but we'll just say psychotherapist because that kind of encompasses any type of counselor, master's level or doctorate level. And she has worked through her issues and she likes helping other people work through their issues. And I just think that's so admirable. Let me let the dog in one sec. Come here, Coco. And maybe I should grab the puppy. Maybe I should grab the puppy. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe at the very end because I can only be on for a couple more minutes. And yeah, puppy's been chilling out in her crate, and then we're gonna take her and go for a walk and play and stuff. Oh, she's just too much energy for the older dogs. And Coco's just chilling out over there. Come here, Coco. Come here, baby girl. Anyway, yeah, I really want to learn more about the victims, like all of the victims that have come forward and what their stories are. And oh, horrifying to think that Les, the guy who owns Bath and Body Works and all that crap, that he has never served a day of prison time and probably never will. And then that other freak, Michael Jeffries, I think he's off the hook for criminal charges because of his dementia diagnosis and Alzheimer's diagnosis. He's 80. And I think he's still liable, though, for like 40 lawsuits against him for damages from victims. So at least there'll be a little bit of justice with that. Yes, that's awful that he's never been convicted. Well, and with Michael Jeffries, it took 10 years. I mean, with little E, it took many years. And then Alex Acosta was the one who screwed up that whole thing down in Florida the first time around. And I think that sweetheart secret deal almost prevented Acosta from getting sworn into the cabinet in the last Trumpster fire administration. But he was able to overcome those hurdles and get sworn in. And then he was forced to resign the month before little E was put in prison. And then I was talking about that yesterday. And then looking at the dates of little E being found deceased in his cell on August 10th of 2019. And then 9 days later, Trumpster Fire has this big wedding at one of his national golf courses in Jersey for Pete Segdeath and his third wife that he'd already had a baby with when they were both still married to the people that they each had 3 kids with. So 9 days after, so little E has that happen in prison, like the highest security prison imaginable. The guards fell asleep. The surveillance cameras weren't working. Like, I can't tell you how many times law enforcement will just say, oh, there was a glitch in the system, when they don't want to give you a 911 tape or a surveillance video footage. Oh, there was a glitch in the system. Oh, isn't that convenient? Okay, whatever. So again, they're letting you know that there's something huge there, like the thing that you're looking for. Yeah, it's there, but they're not going to give it to you. So the fact that Pete's wedding was 9 days after little E's expiration really makes me wonder what the connection is there. I would imagine that that wedding had been planned. I don't know. Usually weddings are planned in advance, but since it was at Trumpster Fire's property, they could have done it on a dime. But if little E had video footage of both of those guys doing things in his Manhattan townhouse, the most expensive, largest single dwelling residence on the entire island of Manhattan, if he had footage of them and he was in jail, they were pooping bricks. And then they would have been so relieved when he ceased to exist anymore. But just timing is so important. The timing of any crime is some of the very best evidence you're going to have in figuring out the crime, the mystery of the crime. So let me scratch my nose. Man, I did my Sudafed, and I even did like the nasal irrigation to prevent from having to scratch my nose when I'm on camera, because I hate that. But as long as I say excuse me, I just think it's terrible when you do it absentmindedly and you don't say excuse me, because it's just kind of gross. Anyway, my nose is really itchy and I do need to wrap up anyway. So I'll go ahead and wrap up so I can scratch the heck out of my nose. So I'll grab the puppy. And I know Anna B says makes me not want to buy Bath and Body products. Excuse me for scratching my nose. And I love my Bath and Body products. I was having a little advertisement for them yesterday. Remember, I had my raspberry tangerine. Today I have my mimosa. It smells so good. I have so many of these things. Some of my favorites are like the I've got raspberry basil. I've got, what is that lemonade one? It's a watermelon lemonade. And there's another one here. Let me grab it real quick. Watch out, baby. There are so many good ones. It's ridiculous. So lemon pomegranate cream is another favorite. See? No, but I want to quit using these things because of the jerk who, the whole like gingham family. This one is gingham fresh. the green one, but there's like green and pink and blue and lavender, and they're all good. They're nice and subtle. Um, yeah, I just love them. I just put on like three. Mango is a good one. Freshka is another really good one. It's a little intense by itself, but I usually like put two on. Um, like the raspberry tangerine, I like to do with peach. I just have a thing, and I love to mix the different raspberry types, like the raspberry basil one with peach. Peach is one of my favorites, but not alone. It has to be layered up with something. Anyway, yeah, the lotions, I really like their lotions too, but I don't want to like any of their crap. I always loved the limited back in the 80s when it first came around. I thought it was the bomb. I loved their style. Very preppy, but I was a preppy little booger when I was in high school. Um, and then Abercrombie and Fitch and Hollister, those are both fun brands, but you just don't want to support them after if you've seen any of the specials on like Netflix or there's documentaries about the whole Abercrombie Fitch Hollister crap. And then the Victoria's Secret, I just watched that documentary this last weekend. So that's why I've been looking into this stuff. Because Ghislaine and Little E would say that they were scouts for Victoria's Secret, and they were not scouts for Victoria's Secret. But Little E was the money manager for Les. And it seems that Little E probably also sold weapons to Israel, Anna. Like it ties right in with all this political BS. So I'm probably going to lose my feed again, right? It's crazy. Like I'm going to continue the deep diving on this stuff because it is outrageous. And then looking at who is in the leadership role of our country and his affiliation with this monster. When Ghislaine, when Ghislaine went to prison and he said he wished her well, it's like that is like the grossest thing to say to somebody who's just been convicted of child trafficking. Are you kidding me? You wish them well? They have committed atrocious crimes against kids and you're wishing them well publicly. But again, that's because she's got dirt on him. She could destroy him. I'm surprised she's still alive. So I'm going to get the little puppy dog and then I'm going to sign off. So one sec. Oh, you like the lavender one? I think I might have I have the lavender, the pink, and the green. I might not have the blue, but I might. I can't remember. I had so many at one point. I started unloading them. The rose undertones. Wow. Yeah. Oh, silly baby. Here's the silly puppy. Oh, she's so happy to get some snuggles. Oh, little girl. She is precious. She makes the funniest noises. She has this little rat. It's like, of all the toys, her favorite is this little rat, which, I totally have a thing for rats. Um, so, yeah, I will go ahead and sign off. Isn't she the cutest? Mm, such a sweetie. That little face with that funny fur. I keep trying to look at the photographs of the Muppets, Sesame Street Muppets, to figure out which one it is that has like that curling of the fur, the way it comes off of her face like that. I can't remember, but she is totally a little Sesame Street Muppet. She looks like a toy. She does look like a toy. I know those adorable little puppy toys that they show on your feed for for me, it's like on YouTube, there's a lot of those little robot puppies that are so adorable. But you know, they're not going to be warm and snuggly. Like, sure, they're cute and your little kids will love them, but when you pick them up and they're not warm and snuggly, when you can't love on them and they don't love you back, then that's kind of worthless toy. But then again, you don't have to feed them and they don't poop everywhere. This one's getting potty trained though. Aren't you? She was even cuter, believe it or not, when they first got her like a month ago. She's grown a lot. I think I showed her to you guys when she was very new to the family. So yeah, my son's girlfriend adopted her and then asked us to foster her, and they're just so overwhelmed with taking care of a puppy because they didn't know what they were getting into. So they were gonna have us foster her, and then they were gonna try not to, and now they're just like, we don't even know if we ever want her back. She's just too much work. And I'm like, yeah, well, we'll foster her for a couple of years, and then if you want her back when she calms down, because dogs do so much better when they're with other dogs too. They're very social creatures. And we had 3 dogs. We had the one that passed away New Year's a couple of years ago. That was really sad, Luna. And so we got this little girl by default. And it's nice that we can keep her in the family so they can still see her because they love her. They just can't deal with her. And I don't blame them. They had no idea what they were getting into. None whatsoever. I'm like, yeah, this is why people don't go adopting puppies every day. Because, yeah, they're cute and you want them all, but they are a handful and a half and they will destroy everything in your house. The robot toys are cute, but probably spies. Anna Bees, you're right. Dang it. I hadn't even thought about that. Dogs are a lot of work. Yeah, but once they're past 2 years old, then they chill. But up until then, they are insane. I'm surprised she's even letting me hold her this much. She usually like wiggles so much that it's like going to break her back. So I'll have to like set her down. But I'm going to go ahead and log off so that I can take her straight to the door and she can go to the bathroom outside since she's been in her crate for an hour and a half or two. Little love bug. Mwah! Oh, she's so precious. Thanks so much for being here, Anna Bees. You're the best. You're the bomb. And yeah, I think that this White House is imploding, and they don't even have a White House pet, do they? That says a lot. You gotta have a White House pet. Come on. Otherwise, you're just cold hearted. But we didn't talk about the Big E, and he is just going down the freaking tubes. These scumbags, man. Oh, Anna Bees, I'm going to put the 2 links to Titus if you're interested in looking at the videos that Christopher Titus put together of the election fraud. They're awesome. And I would say if you're interested, watch them and then share them with everybody that you know. Because, oh, good. Yeah. And yeah, you can just look up Titus too on YouTube if you want to find it before I have a chance to put the link in the description. But love you lots, honey. I'm so glad that you're doing well. And I'm going to try to get your bracelet sent out to you tomorrow. And I hope you have a great afternoon. Stay hydrated. Eat your veggies. I only say that every day because I have to remind myself, eat your veggies. And I did get the most delicious vegetable barley soup at Costco yesterday. It was a new product and very impressive. So yet another way to get the veggies in the system. Thanks, Anna dear. Love and light. I'm going to pin one of your heart things if I can and log off. So see you tomorrow, hopefully. Have a great night.